most favorite played champions. It is Jensen's, in my opinion, best of the melee mid lane champions. So I'm actually still surprised here. They don't even pick it up early on, and CLG just goes straight for the early game power of Xin picked up, setting themselves up for those AP solo laners. And probably Tristana bottom, I would think, for WildTurtle. Is one of the best Tristana players that we have in the LCS. Could be a Pobelter pick, but that's really just not the way that CLG have been trending.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense to me that it probably is bot lane. The fact that it can be flexible, certainly you can hold on to that one for a little while. Also removes one of the safest AD carry options for trying to find ways to dive the backline in case we get more of the bongos coming out and we get some exciting music here. And Akali just grabbed right away. So a pretty aggressive TL composition, not a ton of ways out, at least for the Varus. We'll see if the support changes that one.
I feel like this is just such an insanely good opening draft for Team Liquid. They get so many things that they want. The Akali and Lee Sin can be swapped. I haven't been like a big fan of Jensen Lee Sin, but he had some decent kicks there. I definitely think that either solo laner can be a very deadly Akali.
Bongos activated still.
and the Varus has been the most critical pick for Team Liquid. Tactical has been insane. Varus, his skill shots on the Varus and the Ezreal have had upwards of 90% accuracy in pro games, which has definitely been insane. Yes, Lissandra is locked in again, and this is always good versus a lot of these all-in melee champions. Problem is, it is a little bit difficult when you have so many angles coming through, and you do have hard CCs. Like Lee Sin kick, Lissandra is not inherently tanky and needs to get off one of those stasises. So if you are slow, if you don't get it off in time, then it completely crumbles. I will say that she works so well with Xin Zhao, though. So very excited to see what CLG can do early, because Xin and Lissandra should be able to push in Akali no problem and get some mid-jungle roaming.
So CLG thinking that Lee Sin jungle is quite the possibility as they're banning Sylas out, thinking that may still come through as a second option. As far as the interactions go, I have a question for you, because I know you play Xin Zhao. Does his W reveal counter stealth or not?
I don't believe on Akali that it's going to be that it's going to help.
Because I know like Lee Sin works, but Kog'Maw doesn't, and
so,
I don't.
And Lee Sin got changed. So Lee Sin, the E now, you have to have it on her before Shroud. You can't E her out of Shroud. It only gives the radar effect. The Q still does do the reveal. So they've done a lot of individual changes specifically for Akali.
Right.
So that's why I'm hesitant.
All right. So because if it can reveal, then Lissandra lockdown, then like Sejuani hits W and you get the follow through, no problem. The one nice thing I'll say, obviously the draft moving forward, is you can react to Varus ult and Lee Sin kick and just self ult as Liss. Like if you're paying attention, you're in control of your own destiny, and you can survive that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna say that the W is gonna work for Xin until proven differently, because the Lee Sin change was a specific one to that one. So
okay.
I'm gonna hope that it does until proven wrong. Here we go though. The Sejuani, possible top Sejuani. You know, Lee Sin and Sejuani definitely are flexible here.
But I think Armao played Sedge yesterday, so I'm like, he's probably just reprising the role.
It is, but I want to keep it open because Alorum specifically keeps on trying to sell it. He's got like 40 games of Sejuani top in a row, so I'm waiting to see it. You know, they use it pretty decently in the LPL. Regardless, though, it is going to be our bottom lane, very aggressive. Finally locked in here for Turtle and Smoothie with the Rakan and Tristana. That is extremely volatile bottom lane. Yes, they're trying to play into the Tahm Kench with the Varus, but you can definitely go for kills on that TK early on, especially if you watch. Some of the Tahm Kenches will put 2 levels in their tongue for more aggressive laning. And that's definitely something that would be beneficial versus a Tristana Rakan, unless you get ganked by the Xin. So can path down there and punish that early.
All right, going to be a lot of fun to watch for CLG. Still plenty of engage tools. One of the only teams in the world to still play Lissandra, but they like the active engage buttons. That's the comp for them. Team Liquid, a little bit of their own style as well. Not a lot of jungle Sejuani is out in the world, but Armao certainly seems to like it. It has worked so far. They've won with him as Santorin is out on medical leave. Alfari is still on his break to the end of the week. TL will eventually kind of re-look at the roster. But for now, it is Jenkins in the top lane, Armao in the jungle, and so far they have been winning. They have the third best record of any team in the summer split so far, and that includes Jenkins playing virtually every single game. He has been a solid performer. Armao, so far so good, got the win yesterday. And the rest of the squad doing the very best to stick up to the level of, heavyweights like CoreJJ down at support. And for CLG, they have also found that revitalized sort of run in summer, playing a lot more heavy engaged Pobelter on Galio and Lissandra. And it's been a pretty decent run. We'll see if CLG can keep that one going. They have finally tied for 8th as of the end of last week, and are keeping that push going to climb the standings, now up against one of the heavyweights in Team Liquid.
Yeah, I'm incredibly excited specifically to see if CLG can pressure with this mid jungle, with the Lissandra locking, because Lissandra is one of the most maligned and memed on mid laners, along with Malzahar, as far as being on CC duty.
You saw him hover it, right?
Back to Lissandra, memes aplenty, Malzahar, these kind of lower skill expression champions that have incredible power and incredible usefulness and continue to find their way back into pro play. But their good dodges, nice fancy feet there, even with the early slow coming out. But again, it could be something that they can utilize early on, because still your point about setting up the Xin W is very big. If you have any sort of CC, a lot of the extra damage for Xin was put into W. Being able to land that, you being able to join the Lissandra from a very long distance, you can have some of those big plays.
Here we go. Pro view matchup in the bottom lane. The Turtle of enormous girth on one side and Tactical on the other. Only one of these is on Tristana. It's going to be Turtle on this side around. But hey, one free POV matchup every single game. Again, in this one, it is bot lane. Stay tuned for this one. Finn wants to play an aggressive line here on top. Is going to go leashless. Both sides going to go very leashless towards Broxah. No one's trying to do a fake leash or anything. It's just like, all right, you're starting out in red. Enjoy your very slow pathing. He'll skip Krugs for obvious reasons.
And I want to point out top lane, as I want to see how patient Finn is in waiting that brush. When you have the option getting there early, you can either pull the wave, or you could try and go for an aggressive early move here. He does go for the early trade. He levels Slice and Dice to make sure he can chase down the long lane here and chase Jenkins down. I think he would have gotten a bit more out of it if you'd have been able to pull the wave, and basically what you do is pull it to the side, then drop into the brush so they focus fire on the first melee that you have, and you can try and deny that first melee of experience if you know the opponent top laner is pulling.
Dash, decent damage. Oh, does get second E. Hit the tail end of the caster minion on there. So a couple of good trades now for Finn right now. Doing nicely. By the way, for all of our Spanish-speaking friends, check out FlyQuest's Spanish co-stream at twitch.tv/FlyQuest. As we keep watching Finn look for some lane domination here, as somewhat expected on the Renekton. We check in on jungle pathing, and again, it's a Krug skip for the Zhao. Right now, both junglers on 3 camps, and we'll see if they fight for bottom scuttle. Right now, mid pressure for CLG, but bot pressure for TL makes that fight a bit close.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty risky for Broxah to be able to do anything about it, as Varus is so good early on at harassing, pushing this Tristana in. Tristana starts out such low range, and Tactical, again, if you're looking at that free pro view, look at how he keeps his camera.
Is this first blood into the turret? Has to run away, gets ignited, but be careful. Finn, of course, he has TP, he can get back in a lane. Jenkins can do the same, and he's hatching a ward. So this can be an easy recall stop if Jenkins is willing to do it, but I believe he doesn't want to drop the CS and risk getting flash stunned on.
Really good play by Finn. He's not looking for the full commitment there, just wants to get the ignite out. So burns the early cooldown, and as we were talking about, Broxah would be so dangerous for him to go to the bottom side with the Varus Tahm Kench lane and the control that Tactical and CoreJJ have over bottom side. So Broxah comes up towards the top side, gets the top Scuttle Crab, and it's an easy play there for both sides. I like the sort of handshake calling it on this one. Meanwhile, it is going to be able to bounce.
Nice stealth, just in time to dodge the W stun, and honestly, with Finn shoving the wave in, may still force it to bounce as the wave is still once again collecting under the turret as Broxah.
100%. So, so the easy judgment for freezes is if you can keep it right in front of your turret, you need 4 ranged minions from your opponents to be able to do enough DPS to keep it frozen there.
Yep, and so it's going to slowly push towards Renekton, and right now Zhao is topside, so theoretically if Jenkins overextends, he can be ganked. It's a flash as Akali, his TP is down, his Ignite's down for any counterplay. But Broxah is just back through cycling. He's cycling top to bottom, so he's going to often just spend more of his time towards that bottom lane.
Meanwhile, the pain continues for Jenkins up there on the top side, and there's plenty of vision set up. Not only was the top Scuttle Crab secured by CLG, but also with the extra ward here. So I like what they're doing, trying to pressure the Akali early on. You see it hurting in CS early on. There's no summoner spells, no teleport left either, as it was forced out from the early recall. And these deep wards that I keep talking about, so good from CLG, really trying to allow Finn on this Renekton, put some punishment onto Jenkins, because you know Akali becomes so scary later on.
Oh, trying for the play. They saw CoreJJ walk over, flash for Tactical. Devour is up, but is there a re-engage at 100 health?
Whoa.
The second rocket jump puts the earth on his back, but no! The first one comes through to Tactical. They've knocked down Smoothie. The TP in for Pobelter only gets a second kill.
The confidence there from Team Liquid. Tactical spits right back out into his face, and they get the first blood kill there and draw out the Lissandra teleport while Jensen gets to push in this mid wave. This is a nice advantage as far as map control goes for Team Liquid, allowing this recall from Jensen on screen you're going to see now. Big kind of shift.
And take a look at the lanes overall. Not only was that kill an extra 100 gold because of first blood, 15 CS lead in the bot lane. A similar one top, to be sure. Finn's doing a great job up here with the Renekton, answering the Akali nicely, but we are basically splitting the map right now, where TL handily winning in bot lane right now, and now a flash forest out of the jungle, and be careful, Finn can keep pulling aggro here. Jenkins, stealth, waiting to get level 6, gets it now with the ulti for mobility. This could be tough. Finn waiting on cooldowns. Shuriken still down for 5 seconds, but without flash, he really can't get in. Jenkins just not going to be killed here. Ult goes down, flash goes down, doesn't get any reward, and TL on the other side of the map, with all the control they've got, gets to take the first Drake. And the Ocean gets grabbed by Team Liquid.
This is the confidence of Team Liquid, and why in Champ Select we keep talking about this bottom lane, but Tactical CoreJJ, let's take another look at the replay here. Tactical does get hit with the initial rocket jump there from WildTurtle, flashes the W from Rakan to get back out, but then with the exhaust coming back down, that confidence and working back through with the extra minions pulling them up to the brush, really nice movement there from the TL bottom lane to turn it back around and actually go for the kill on the squishier target to get the first blood cash in.
The game is still very close, though. You've got to keep in mind that the gold is virtually tied because of extra lane leads. Jungle farm is identical. The top farm actually grew, and Turtle, to be honest, caught a bunch of waves as well. This was 15 CS, I remember saying it, and now it's 6. So a couple of waves grabbed. Really did a lot to make bot lane a lot closer. Noon Quiver is in a very important power spike for the Tristana, so Turtle very happy. He's managed to get that 300 gold to buy that item. Should make the lane feel a lot better. Very easy to last hit once you've got that. Should actually stun the bleeding pretty easily. And we'll see where the teams go afterwards, because Lissandra ult is up, burned her first TP, but can always roam somewhere else.
And you have to be a little bit cautious on top side. Jenkins back to able to get his Ignite back up, as well as hitting level 6 now, is where Akali starts to feel a lot more comfortable, has possible counter kill threat, as well as having more confidence to be able to push up on the wave. And if you get these roam timings from Pobelter, that Lissandra you're mentioning from mid lane, it makes stuff like this, starting up the Herald, a bit risky. CLG don't have any vision inside the river, and Team Liquid know this because they've got it fully swept out here with their control wards. But if Broxah gets over there, you know, Rift Herald takes quite a long time to finish. They can definitely force it still.
They should have just enough time to show up before this all goes down. We don't have big smites available just yet. You convert around 8 and your first 9 smite is at 9, but no one's around to stop them, so well done, Team Liquid. They've now grabbed both neutral objectives. They've only bled a single kill, and they're poised to grow a gold lead off the first Herald charge.
Certainly could, especially if they can use it around mid, because the gold lead is something, you know, 160 gold for each turret plate feels nice. Being able to split that with one of your solo lanes, yeah. If you can get the mid turret down and give this Lee Sin a lot more room to work with for Jensen in the mid lane, this is actually going to be the turning point for Team Liquid. So see if they can actually make an opportunity for themselves, forcing cooldowns out of Pobelter to try and get a good Rift Herald towards mid and try and get that pivotal tower down.
Ward's going down. Bottom scuttle can be fought. Knocked up. And they're not going to have Lissandra deal the damage. Looks like Smoothie thinks he can just kind of hold it. Maybe Zhao comes over and they're going to be fine. But just wave clearing back and forth right now across the most of the lanes here.
Honestly, good reset there for the bottom lane as well for Team Liquid. And you see the transition bottom lane for Armao with ultimate ready on Sejuani. The combination of Sejuani and Varus CC can 100% to zero either of these bottom laners. So as soon as you get that on Sej, yes, you like combining with melee solo laners for stacking up your stuns early on for duels, but bottom lane is so juicy because of your CC combination and the low health pools of these bottom laners. CLG thinking the same thing, though, with a possible counter gank.
Looking juicy. They're expecting the bot lane spot. Both junglers being smart to hide in their own control-warded brushes. Play it safe, play it back, bait the gank, be there for the counter. And they're all hiding from it.
It's one of those situations where you know if you throw the first punch, then you are the one that's vulnerable. Because by throwing the first punch, by exiting Fog of War, you then, use your dash and you're committed to all in and you're open to punishment. You would have to flash out after that. So both teams holding steady there, just waiting for the possible counter gank, trying to punish, not being willing to open themselves up for the counter attack. And I do kind of like the patience there. I'm always also a really big proponent of sweeping your side brushes in bottom lane and top lane to get these lane ganks. I feel like they are so effective and not utilized nearly enough, especially in pro play, because it can have such a devastating effect as far as waiting out those possible counter ganks and being a lot closer, especially on bottom side when you have, Rakan. You can easily lock up 100% to zero. If you just hit him with the Sej stun from out of a brush on bottom side, that's instantly into Varus ultimate, instantly into a dead support.
And so we're looking for those plays, but right now they just haven't been found. It's been a pretty low-impact game. The top laners were scrapping, but now we're sitting at a pretty solid just 10 CSD, and it's kind of flat there. So Jenkins surviving a rough early lane and coming out the other side relatively unscathed. Obviously, again, happy his bot lane is winning. Next dragon is up. Team Liquid right now mostly own the river, but there are some CLG wards making it a bit tighter. TP comes into mid lane. Pobelter wants to rejoin down there, so we'll see if he can answer the wave and then show up temporarily down a level, but there's the level 10.
All right, we just keep trading waves in mid, looking for possible opportunities. Now there's no teleport on the side of CLG for Lissandra, for Pobelter, though. So they're a little bit down as far as mobility, and you can see how Pobelter's trying to make it up. Every little 30 seconds, you basically hover halfway from your lane, trying to cover in case your opponents try and take advantage of your teleport discrepancy. These arrows keep landing from Tactical, though. You see the pressure mounting on bottom side, chunking down Turtle, and it breaks!
The flash knockup, they charm CoreJJ as well, so he can't devour just yet. Tactical out, flashing to safety. Herald summoned, and here comes the battle. Already a 1-for-0 as it's traded now 1-for-1. Broxah stunned up, gonna be chased down, running out of health. TL 2-1, Finn locked up in the back lines, heals for 400, but won't yet go down. The chase comes in, TL find their third. Herald charges in for a couple of plates, and Team Liquid crush that team fight.
You know, when it breaks, it's gonna break in a very big way, Phreak, because everybody itching to use all of their mobility to get down here. Finn and Jenkins double teleporting in, but again, engaging on Tactical, even if they get the double charm and they knock up and into charm CoreJJ, so he can't immediately devour. They couldn't burst down Tactical, so at least the devour got off and he was able to get spit out, flash away, still get Varus ultimate off, and that bought enough time for our Team Liquid to collapse, get the extra kill for themselves, and turn it into a lot more. So that's turret plates on mid, plus Dragon, plus the Rift Herald charge on bottom side. Here's another look. Good move there. Smoothie immediately gets onto him, and then, as you called out, charmed CoreJJ.
Shot him. Right. Shot him into the wall.
Yeah, actually, could have been a better angle there, but then you see the collapse from Team Liquid. And it's right down through the river. They focus on Broxah, killing him first. Double kill for Sejuani. Not ideal where the goal is going, but just trying to focus down the target as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And then the rewards are really big for the early collapse from Team Liquid because they're so ready for it on bottom side. The turret plates in mid and bottom and Dragon taken away. That's Dragon number 2. We're only 14 minutes into the game, so there's a very quick pace here for Team Liquid. And remember that they are the ones that do have Varus Sejuani here for a lot of river play for setting up on these Dragons. really do want to try and punish CLG with the combo.
Yeah, it's looking really good for Team Liquid. I'm a little hung up on the fact that I think CLG, like that play should have worked.
It was a good opening.
If players play that fight mechanically well, that is a CLG win. Turtle could have bust-shotted either the Varus away from Tahm Kench or Tahm Kench away from Varus, and there's no save. They kill Tactical, that fight looks great. Pobelter didn't get his ult off in time. Now, that might have been really sick CC chaining by Armao. Like, that could have been a good TL play, but he didn't get his ult off in that fight. You called it in Champ Select, Kobe. That was going to be a potential problem. In this case, it was. I think that would have changed the landscape of that battle quite a bit. The mechanics sadly failed a very good choice by CLG, and they've got to now pick up the pieces of a 2,000 gold deficit, where TL's already got the first 2 dragons as well. Second Herald being stacked, and Armao is a rich man. He's got half the kills on his team. It's in all kind of the right places, realistically.
Very, very, very beefy Sejuani.
Yeah.
Feels good. You get to just charge right in, face first into the opponent team. It doesn't, you know, obviously benefit with them actually as far as taking down, you know, a lot of these targets or even some of the objectives, but I do kind of want to return to your point of CLG and some of the execution, because that was a big topic yesterday in executing on the comp that they had. There were some misplays, you know, blast coning yourself over into the river and then dashing wrong way, you know, gale forces in opposite directions, and these types of things where if, again, you're picking Lissandra, and one of the biggest things is always timing with this champion for getting your stasis off, or either your ultimate or when you get to Zhonya's, as well as, you know, building off of what Smoothie did, because Smoothie's initiation, I think, was exactly what you want. He had snap initiation with the Rakan, got the primary target, charmed off the Tahm Kench as well, but weren't able to finish it out, and Team Liquid, because of that, are sitting very pretty in this game, Phreak. They have gotten both Rift Heralds, both Dragons. That is all of the early game neutral objectives, and they're also poised to get all of the early game towers. First tower kill is still available here for the extra bonus gold, unless CLG were able to make some big punishment on top side with 4 people right now and use Tristana to take down this turret. I would say that Team Liquid will probably get the early move. They are getting their recalls off now, though, and turret plates just dropping means Tristana can do a lot of damage very quickly.
First turret hasn't been taken yet. It's not the hugest deal. It's worth 1 turret plate of money, but it still feels good to be like, I've been the one sieging the best.
It's an extra one, baby.
It is. You know, it's money. It's money, and the money matters absolutely. CLG needs their power spikes. You're seeing half, well, an 1/8 of a Phantom Dancer in the inventory now of WildTurtle. He's moving on his way there. Neither of those is correct. Actually, more like a quarter, but we're going to stop now.
I like the switch in currencies, though. You know, start valuing items in just fractions of other items.
So this is something I've been thinking about for a while, and I'll probably do like a longer synopsis on. But basically, items aren't worth the gold they're actually worth, because completed items are worth so much more than their components. Like, just across the board, you know, 2,000 gold of longswords is way worse than 2,000 gold's worth of a Phantom Dancer, assuming it combines the item, because it's just so efficient. And so that's always what matters, is like, how close are you to the power spike? Did you hit the power spike? No? Okay, no one cares.
I mean, if you want to get real philosophical, money, not only does it not buy you happiness, but actually money is not going to win you a team fight. Items are going to win you the team fight, and the item completions is what everyone always focuses on. So gold is one thing. Merely a figment of your imagination, honestly.
Is gold a figment of my imagination, Kobe? It's like an actual element. Fair enough. Wind is not an element. Fire is not an element. Gold is. Why isn't he part of Captain Planet? You know,
we should all return to a barter system. No currencies, no gold. Dragon number 3 started up, though. What are you willing to barter for that? A teleport at least.
At least. Here we go. CLG wants in, but TL have been the gold standard for river control in this game, as they're looking to knock down their 3rd dragon. Finn is ulted. Broxah's in. Big damage. Tactical gets eaten up by CoreJJ. Nuggets come in. Charms afterwards. Tactical. He's going to drop 1-0 CLG. And it's time to go for more. Lee Sin picks up a trade kill. And it's time to run away. Smoothie flashing to safety. Jenkins still wants in, though. He's stealth and he's running around, but he does not have lethal damage right now. Finn walks up, tanks the Lee Sin Q, and it's time to go back on in. Armao does not have smite, but Broxah does. This should be a CLG secure, but they don't know it just yet. So TL want the 4v4. Renekton comes in, looks for damage. Jensen Jensen forced to flash away, and time to walk right back out. Lissandra and Jenkins come over the top. It's a 2-for-0. The spike comes in, and it's going to be one traded. Now Turtle battling Jensen as the rest of his team dies. There's turrets to keep him alive, but TL win yet another team fight.
And are they actually even going to continue chasing WildTurtle here? Jensen's keeping him in jail. They've got him boxed in. How does the Turtle get out of this one, Phreak?
He doesn't. The minions spot him as well. He's trying to juke, but he's gathers away from there, buddy. I'm sorry. There was nothing he could have done. Nothing would have changed that outcome, I don't believe. Either way, it is picked up. Team Liquid with the delayed ace, with the third dragon, and the driver's seat in this game.
Oh, man. Jensen kind of corralled WildTurtle there into the alcove like a freaking scuttle crab. And just you're bouncing him against the wall. There's nowhere for him to go.
It's a caged turtle, Kobe. You don't want to see the caged turtle.
All right, here's another look at the setup from Team Liquid, drawing out the dragon. They've got a good flank positioning here from Jenkins, but you also see CLG have a flank in mind of their own. Finn comes down with ultimate. They charge right on Tactical. They force out the Devour early on, and then immediately they finish off Tactical. So you see him flash out. CLG, it looks very good for them for the start. They killed off the Varus. No poke damage achieved before the fight. And Smoothie is the low health person on the team, so it actually looks very, very good. At this point, there's no Akali ultimate either, so that's why CLG are confident to go for this Drake. But Finn going very deep here onto the Lee Sin, and then the flash from Jensen avoids Rakan, allowing this super beefy Sejuani that had so much of the early gold to just charge right back in and open up the opportunity there for the double melee solo laners. You basically just throw the Sejuani in body first, get the small knock up there on the charge. Jenkins collects a bunch of heads there with the Akali. Jensen following through as well with Lee Sin, and it is just more money in the way of Team Liquid. That on top of the dragon stacking makes a very clear pathway to finish out this game.
Looking good for Team Liquid, ready to keep kind of going as they started. They were already one of the dominant teams in the LCS, went to Game 5 of the Spring Finals, and now here to just kind of pick up the pieces and complete the job here against CLG. Looking by far to be the better team. I mean, twice as many wins over the year. Certainly a little bit of what you expect as Finn tries to push away. Jenkins gets the stealth under the turret, stays alive at 120 HP. Ults in! Oh my word! Jenkins with the solo kill against Finn.
That is a slow clap right there for Jenkins. He goes back in on the Akali E right under tower, knowing the timing on his ultimate right there. So sick. You love seeing those plays, the confidence of this player coming up from Academy amidst all the turmoil within Team Liquid. They stick with Jenkins in. They win yesterday. Another good look for him here on the Akali, even after getting bullied early on in lane by the Renekton, as kind of expected. Always love to see going back in for kills like that. Definitely a nice little outplay from him. Execution damage done and calculated quite well. Now, though, Finn, I feel like has been trying his heart out this whole game, putting out a lot of pressure. Broxah, though, he might
be in real threat here. Stuns just chained together. Lissandra comes up, so does Rakan. But do they have the damage to kill anyone? Sure, they've been CC, but the health bars don't drop, so Team Liquid get the 1-for-0. And CLG left waiting to find something to do.
Yeah, and I think your point there about lack of damage is the real issue here for CLG. They go on to Tahm Kench, though, CoreJJ.
Thick skin popped. He's going to get rooted in place. A great W by Pobelter, but how about the chase back in? The snipe. Zonia's comes off in time. What about round 2, though? Finn walks up the tank at Armao. Dropped low, but be careful for Renekton. He's taking a lot of damage done yet again, and the kill comes through. Well played as Varus gets the snipe. WildTurtle gets dropped as well after the turtle falls, and the turret does as well, and it's another team fight. The Team Liquid wins.
And Tactical on the Varus again. Arrow after arrow after arrow. Jenkins as well, opening up space there with the Akali. Team Liquid don't look like they're gonna drop a game so far this weekend. Phreak definitely cruising to a Dragon Soul for themselves. Broxah here just does not respect the Sejuani. W lands as well, and that's an easy stack up of the passive. So Team Liquid are starting this out with the extra numbers advantage. Good collapse there from CLG. They even got the Varus ultimate out. As you saw, Tactical try to follow up. Varus ultimate barely misses, doesn't tag anyone. And they feel confident to go back in here because you see the ward behind Baron did get vision on Lee Sin, so they know this is just a 3-person group from CLG, and they try and burst down CoreJJ. Do succeed in that endeavor, but it's the counter engage. Jensen, Akali, right back in on them. Chunks down Pobelter, gets out the Zhonyas, and all the return damage here. So well calculated. He goes back in with R2. Tower's about to fall down, so he can finish up then again on WildTurtle as well. And there you go. That's your Dragon Soul as a reward too for Team Liquid. Now all that's left is to close this loop. Yes, they have possibilities of sieging, but honestly, their turn off of Baron is so scary with Sejuani and Varus, the combination we've been talking about this whole game. So all they have to do is start up this Baron. Lee Sin with the current builds can basically tank and start up Baron without a lot of cost at all. Easily life steals and is able to sustain off of it. And then you have a very big threat of turning. With your Sejuani ult and your Varus ultimate, you can take a pick off of anybody on CLG and punish them this way.
And the 6,000 gold lead is going to let them continue to punish and punish and punish and push in. Very early Cloud Souls we've talked about. And now we get to see what the rest of the game is going to look like. When is it Baron? When is it Inhibitors falling? Minions dropping as Tactical shoots them down, and the team is mostly playing around the top side of the map. You can see CLG's vision very poor. They know that Baron's not being hit right now. They can see Tactical. They can see the river. It's kind of all they're going to get. As the poke comes out, the jungle's going to be claimed. 2 more autos. There you go. Grabs the red buff and just going to keep spamming out. Maybe he gets a hit one day.
I also want to talk up Frozen Heart here just real quick. Maybe we'll see a pick, so we'll have to cut it short. But Frozen Heart has for so long just been an Ezreal item because of the synergy with mana there and building off the extra damage, making it crazy efficient. Yep. But in itself, it is an extremely good tank item, and the aura often goes unoverlooked. Now that we're in this meta where there are so many melee carries and attack speed, and all these champions are going to be extremely close to your front line, I do like the pickup there from Armao. Even knowing, yeah, he got a lot of the early extra kills, it's going to provide a tremendous value as far as, shutting down the Xin, shutting down some of the Renekton damage, and even if he can get close to WildTurtle. So very, very secure setup here for Team Liquid. And this is the Baron start we're talking about. You see there's no cost to starting up Baron for their health. Jensen can easily just spam shields to stay in there, and they can look for the pick.
Smoothie gets the ward over the wall, so now CLG knows what's up, and they're almost going to have to go for this play at some point. No good TP wards for the Renekton, but you have to believe it's got to happen at some point. Wards go down. Smoothie runs away from Jensen, and now the fight has begun. Big damage in the front line. Broxah with the ulti stays alive for a very long time. Now the charms come in. Turtle, he's dropping low. He's not dead just yet, but it's time to plow through. TL picked up 2. TL picks up 3. Looking at number 4, just like the banners in the backstage, as they're going to go ahead and knock down Finn now as well. Yes, they will. Back to back to back to back. They kill CLG, and then return for Baron as number 5.
And I just like the clarity on TL. You see, they didn't even have any damage dealers inside the pit on Baron. This whole time, they're just calling, yeah, we're just starting it up to lure them here, looking for the turn, looking for the pick. Tactical up behind a red buff, even looking for it. And as soon as CLG get close enough, good charge in, Jensen over the wall, Armao following, and they're able to take down the members of CLG before then picking up their rewards. No risk required here from the side of Team Liquid.
Yep. Meanwhile, Jensen's been chasing Turtle around the map.
Hide and seek.
Second rocket jump. Q doesn't land, but CoreJJ and Jenkins are on the trace. Oh, no. Yep, goodbye. Okay, that doesn't do anything, I don't think. The E's still going to follow. Indeed it does. Goodbye, WildTurtle. I don't know how you got there. It also doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, Team Liquid are crushing.
Another turtle has failed to make it to the water. Throwback. Honestly, though, here's a look at the turn. CoreJJ just decides, yeah, we've got the Cloud Drake speed. I'll just turn and walk right at the Xin. All they need is a little bit of a slow, and there's the collapse. Full all-in dive, chunking down both members there. So you see CLG only get a little bit of return damage onto Jenkins, and he's got the Zhonyas. So easy dive follow-up there for Team Liquid, and this is going to be another win for the squad, racked up here in summer, really starting to smooth out some of the things they've had to work through as far as roster changes. You know, bringing up now 2 members of the Academy team, with Armao coming in basically flawlessly and seamlessly mixing in with the rest of Team Liquid. Clear game plans coming in as far as executing on their objective focus, and it feels like Team Liquid are poised to actually keep up this same pace for the rest of summer.
Yeah, looking pretty good right now. 10,000, 11,000 gold lead, ready to knock down more of this. We know their matchup tomorrow is against, I believe, TSM. That'll be an exciting battle to see if anyone can stop them anytime soon. We got Smoothie trying for the knockup, gets out with it, but is there any damage to follow up as Armao dives in and one is knocked down as Jenkins is there for 2. Lissandra trades 1 back, but it's still a battle that Team Liquid are winning 2-1 so far. Finn trying to fight the backline alongside Pobelter. Jensen has a Guardian Angel as Jenkins has found his 3rd kill. Not going to be a Quadra as Jensen finds that one. So either way, it is now Pobelter's turn to run to the bottom side of the map, to be chased down by Elise and hope that he can save his KDA. They found him. Tahm Kench wants in, looking for that kill. Pobelter's on the run. I've seen this before from fellow teammates, but the Nexus turrets are falling. That's the important part. Sonar TP used. The Lee Sin kick is available, and it is kicked in time. So there's the kill for Jensen. Turrets under fire, but not a lot of damage. CLG will live to fight another 5 minutes.
Woo! All right, well, that is going to be the reset streak. You get your 5-minute timer. Honestly, the Elder Dragon being available is going to accelerate that timer. I feel like Team Liquid, there's nothing really that would draw them away from this. Just reset and everybody go back to Elder Dragon. They could probably just run straight for the base from there as well. So with Armao to lead the charge on Sejuani too, CLG don't really have anyone who can step up or say anything about it. So it should just be Elder into Nexus.
But at least they've survived. That is something. There's not going to be a whole lot. That's still going to be an L at the end of the day. Team Liquid going to have a really hard time finding a way to lose this game from a massive lead. CLG have found the dives. They've gotten 4 kills on a tactical. He's taken it somewhat personally, I have to imagine. There's only 2 deaths on his team elsewise. Sadly, TL have other threats. Even Armao has pretty good damage output, honestly, and obviously the Lee Sin and Akali are doing just fine and are happy being the primary carries at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you wear it as a badge of honor, Phreak.
It
took 3 of you to kill me. If I have the most deaths on my team, that's always my angle. They're looking to end it here, though.
Mine too. Yeah, here we go. 1 turret left, 0 Finns left as they're just getting picked apart. Tactical gets a bit of revenge, finding a kill. Jenkins finds yet another. It's already 4 picked up. Turtle just going to sit in the fountain. Armao's going to lose the KDA. Give him the Penta. Let's go, TL. Give Turtle the Dragon Death. They're throwing E's the wrong way. He's sniping the other way as well. The minion's doing all the damage. Give him the Penta. Come on. Get in there. It's summer. It's time to dive. I love it. Turtle brings a stopwatch, but the minions keep his KDA in a bad spot. Follow it. Give him the Penta. You won't. And they indeed don't. The kill will come through, the Bud Light ace, and the victory for Team Liquid.
Whew. Okay. So, CLG and their surge last week off of the Vi, off the good play from Broxah, off of these Galio combinations, these all-in strategies. The LCS teams now with a week of self-reflection coming in, ready to counter this look from CLG, and they're going to have to remain dynamic if they want to, continue to rack up those wins.
Yeah.
Everybody is now expecting that strategy from them and playing accordingly. So I think well done, especially by Team Liquid, considering they've had so many roster changes and so many issues to deal with, and yet plug and play these academy players for Team Liquid. Send Armao up there, send Jenkins up there, and they just continue to play a very similar game.
Absolutely no complaints. Well done on the side of Team Liquid. The Tahm Kench definitely was a big pickup there. I think back to the First Blood. CoreJJ bought a lot of time for Tactical, ended up getting First Blood themselves and a trade kill as a result. That stuff's looking good.
And the bottom lane as a whole, Tactical and CoreJJ, especially after last year, so many memes surrounding Tactical and the Tristana. I think that the Ezreal and the Varus have been so good for him. Just exceptional play. Yesterday, the Ezreal, being able to not just play very defensively, but recognizing when your opponents have no threat on you and going into 1v3 situations where the CC is down and you can play at that offensively and you can really get the most out of that pick. And, the Varus goes without saying as far as, all the damage that he's outputting. The death count thing, he's literally the only viable target, or the #1 target, so you have to be
of course
for him.
I don't blame that.
So definitely a big one from him. Looks like player of the game is Armao on the Sejuani again. Frontline Sej, getting those early kills in the skirmishes too on the bottom side of the map. Got super tanky, did build the Frozen Heart for the aura there for the team. Definitely enjoy the CC or the cooldown reduction for the champion too. Ever since they increased the cooldown on the Q, it really does feel a lot better. Trying to max that second, trying to get some cooldown reduction on the champion so you can still remain super mobile. Plus, of course, more ults are always better.
More ults are always better. So well done to Armao, honestly. Really good job. Yeah, 316, just, obviously the outstanding KDA and everything else. And just got more done. He got all the neutral objectives as well, right? First 2 Heralds, only 2 Heralds. Got the only Baron, got 5 Dragons. So, and some of that at a certain point is, well, your team is winning. Sure. But I think back to the rest of what happened to the game, the top of 1v1 was actually really entertaining, really close. Finn nearly built that 1v1 lead. And I think, if it was a little bit different, right? If there's 100 health that changed hands one way or another at just 1 point, and Jenkins no longer taking over the game, I think this game can look different, right? And I don't think Finn played bad or that he got really outskilled or anything. But if he won a little bit more, right, and Jenkins doesn't get to pop off in those fights, maybe there's no secondary carry and these fights start to look different because eventually it snowballs.
I think that's, to me right now, it's frustrating for everybody to play against Akali, but this is one of the most frustrating things because Finn did play quite well early on, punishing this Akali, getting so close to possible dive opportunities, and maybe if there was an earlier roam or teleport from Lissandra or jungle attention, really trying to force on that and get something. Because if you get so close and yet the Akali is still able to stabilize and get to that mid game, really big plays from Jenkins. So definitely props to him.
All right, well, good job, Team Liquid. We are stepping away, but on the other side of the